Hi everybody, welcome back to the Dice Must Flow. Today we are going to do a board game overview of Tyrants of the Underdark by Wizards of the Coast and Gale Force 9. This game is a combination deck building and area control game, and it was done by some of the same people that did Lords of Waterdeep, so I was really looking forward to it. On the board you can see we have it sort of set up for 3 players. But the board has areas which are to be controlled, and the whites are just neutral drows. So the gist of the game is that you are controlling a drow house. You are going to try and control these areas with your forces, and by doing so you are able to gain victory points. To do this, you're going to have essentially a deck building starter deck, which are 7 nobles and 3 soldiers. So nobles generate essentially money to buy from the store, and soldiers generate a soldier icon. So let's take a look at what these things can do. Once you play your hand, you can, with a soldier icon, lets you deploy a troop in anywhere where you have presence, and we'll get back to that. 3 soldier icons played from your deck allow you to assassinate a troop where you have presence. 3 soldier icons, you return an enemy spy. We'll talk about that. Or you can recruit a card for its cost equal to basically its money equal to its cost. So one thing that's kind of interesting about the game is that there are 4 different decks that you can use to start. And so this gives you instantly some replayability. There are dragons, there's drow, there are demons, and there are aberrations. And so by mixing these 4 decks, smashing them together to make 2, you get kind of a different play every time. Let's take a quick look at presence. To be able to take an action, you have to have presence. And typically that is you have to have a piece on the board. And you can act next to that piece or next to that location that you have piece. So in this case we have a piece at the labyrinth. We can play a piece here, we can attack here, we can play a piece here. But we can't just go ahead and play a piece up here because we don't have presence up there. Now, how can you get presence? First of all, you do choose a location to start. You can also place spies, and that would be these figures. And spies can be placed in a city, and the spy gives you presence in that location that you can then start to act in that area. A lot of the component of the game is deck building, and so let's take a look at some of the cards. So this is a typical card. It's a red wormling. It has a cost of 5 to buy. It can provide 2 soldiers and 2 malice or money and to purchase cards with. These numbers at the bottom represent points, victory points at the end of the game. This card is worth 3 victory points if it is in your deck at the end of the game, and 5 points if it's in your inner circle at the end of the game. So what do we mean by inner circle? Much like Valley of the Kings, where you have to entomb cards to get victory points, this game has, you can promote to your inner circle. So for example, this card, you can play this card and it'll allow you to move an enemy troop, but at the end of the turn promote another card played this turn. And what that means is you're able to thin your deck, pull it out of your deck, and put it to your inner circle, and then that card that you've played is worth the higher victory point cost at the end of the game. How do you win? First of all, if you control these cities, you're going to get 1 extra money if you control the majority of them. For in this case, it's 4 of the 6 areas here. You would get 1 extra money every turn you control it. If you have every one of those during the turn, you're going to get 2 victory points every turn that you control it. Further scoring. Take a quick look at this. So you get victory points value of each site that you control, and that would be this number here. You get 2 victory points for each site under your total control. So if you control Everfire and you have every 3 soldiers controlling this, like that, that would be worth 3 victory at the end of the game. You get 1 victory point for each troop in your trophy hall, which is an enemy troop that you've killed. That could either be an enemy or a white troop, a neutral troop. At the end of the game, you get your deck victory point value for each card in your deck, hand and discard pile. And then you get the inner circle victory point, which is the VP value of each card in your inner circle. Plus, throughout the game, you get victory per turn, either from cards or from control of the city, and that's going to give you victory tokens. So you take all of those together and you score that up and you get your total points for victory at the end of the game. So what did I think of this game? Really liked it. I think that it has a huge amount of replayability. I like the fact that that it added deck building, but it wasn't a pure deck building game. Kind of deck building became a component of the game, kind of just another piece in the toolkit. I like the fact that you have the promote to inner circle, because I like that mechanism, because you always have to decide whether you're going to try and promote a card or use it. I like the fact that there are multiple replayability with the different cards that you can, decks that you can start with. I don't see this as really a very good game for 2 players. They do have it set up that if you play 2 players, you play the inner area. If you play 3 players, you play the inner area plus 1 of the outer areas. And if you play 4, you play the outer area. I do wish it was set up for more than 4, but I realize that that's a restriction of most of the games nowadays. I think my biggest complaint is really just these pieces. And, you know, they're just kind of weak, I guess. And to be honest, there's a red, a orange, a purple, and a black. And while that might be thematic for Drow, sometimes I can see that people have, especially colorblind people, are going to have a trouble differentiating these as you get the board filled up. I just wanted to say that I wish that they had done better quality pieces with this. And you know they've done the D&D minis. So wouldn't it have been awesome to see actual like Drow minis that came out with this? The artworks on the cards, well, typical Wizards of the Coast, it's fantastic. They got great artwork on them. The game plays extremely well, extremely balanced, and overall, like I said, we really liked it. So that's it for now, and hopefully you give this game a try. Let me know what you think. Thanks.